In 1945, there were about 45 million guns in the United States. By 1970, some people were starting to get alarmed because that number had increased to about 120 million, but the population had only increased by about 50%. By 1990, there were about 200 million guns in the hands of U.S. citizens. There were nearly 11,000 new guns being put into people's hands every day. By 2020, the number of guns we owned had increased to 400 million. Between 1945 and 2020, the population of the U.S. increased 151%, but the number of guns we owned increased about 355%. At this point, more than 47,000 new guns are sold every day in the United States. Every day. And those guns just accumulate and accumulate and accumulate. And it gets easier and easier every single day for anyone to put their hands on a gun for any reason, just because there are so many available. Estimates suggest that the number of guns per person in the U.S. was roughly 0.5 in 1970, 0.77 in 1990, and 1.5 in 2025. Every single adult and child in the U.S. could be holding a gun and there would still be a giant pile of guns left over. The gun industry is taking in tens of millions of dollars every day while their guns kill our kids and our families and our friends, and it is laughing all the way to the bank.
Look, with all these stats flying around, I'm honestly a little disappointed. All this talk of 400 million guns and 47,000 guns per day and 1.5 guns per person, I'm wondering who is slacking? I mean, if we're going to throw around dramatic numbers, let's at least do it right. 1.5 guns per person? Somebody's not doing their part. Giant piles of guns left over? Can I get an address, please? I would be glad to help you clean that up. It's easier every day to get a gun? Really? Tell that to the people who are still waiting on their background checks to clear. And the gun industry laughing all the way to the bank? Lady, in this economy, they're not laughing, they're wheezing. But all we've really proven is that Americans are extremely committed to being prepared. And that's left some of y'all mad that we won't stop being overachievers. I do believe, though, if we would put some of those guns left over in that pile in the hands of qualified individuals, and there's a lot of those guys walking around, and put them out in front of our schools, we wouldn't have to worry so much about our children and our families and our friends, because the tool you think is the problem is actually the solution when it's in the right hand and in the right place. So stop making laws to restrict gun ownership and to keep good people from being able to stand in the gap. That's a bigger problem than all your numbers you just threw around. So yeah, thanks for the numbers, but let's be honest, most of us are just disappointed that we're not getting those numbers up faster. I'm the Packin' Pastor. Have a great day.